We are officially, how many more days? This is the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. We are 4 days away from one of the most epic rebirths ever. You know what's interesting? During Pisces season, what does everybody do? This is something I thought about earlier. During Pisces season, everybody begins to spring clean. This is the prime time for spring cleaning. Why? Because Pisces season is the end of endings. Cheers. Pisces season is the endings. And in order to fully be able to end something, we got to get rid of that shit. We got to get cleaning, right? Spring cleaning. We've been doing it. Hey, suavecito. Shout out to Tyson De La Cruz. Don't mind me, I'm just getting situated. So, today is March 16th. And today the sun shines at 27 degrees of Pisces. Kian the one. One with the sun. Cheers to you guys. We are days out from the end of winter, wherein life is again reborn. And I'm looking forward to this rebirth. Today we're just going to talk about what's happening, what you should be aware of this upcoming week, because it is jam-packed with astrological phenomena and events. So tomorrow will be the 17th. This week we have a lot of activity actually. On the 19th, Wednesday, the sun will conjunct Neptune at the final degree of Pisces. Guys, talk about endings. This is going to be major, major endings. And not only is it going to be endings, it's going to become very clear to us what is coming to a closure. And then shortly after that, on Friday the 21st, as Venus is retrograde. Okay, I don't know if you guys have experienced any crazy things for Venus retrograde yet, but I think it's really interesting. You know, maybe some exes come back, especially with Mercury retrograde as well. Like some people from the past, I feel like, are returning. And then we have, so Friday the 21st, Venus in retrograde sextiles Pluto. This is one of the conversations that it is having over the larger Venus retrograde period. Then Saturday, Sun and Venus join in what's known as an inferior conjunction, which is a rebirth for Venus. So technically Venus right now is invisible in the sky. And whenever a planet is invisible, it is too close to the rays of the sun. And in ancient astrology, it was believed that when any given planet is too close to the sun, it is known as combust. And the effects of that said planet are not as potent or powerful. But Saturday, Venus is undergoing a rebirth. And then Sunday, the sun sextiles Pluto, which is actually going to be amazing. Yo, shout out to everybody joining in the chat. I hope you guys are ready for an amazing, amazing week ahead. Cheers to you. I personally think I look better than Drake, and I'm Persian. You know, that's just how it is. Anyways, guys, this week is going to be pretty important. I want to be up and close and personal with everybody in the chat. So we're starting out this week with not much going on astrologically, but eventually, as we move towards the middle of the week, we are going to have some pretty important celestial events. Specifically, and the sun is very active this week. There are 3 important celestial connections that the sun is making on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then Monday of next week as well. Yeah, the sun's going to be active. And then on Wednesday, actually Thursday, scratch that. But technically, it's Thursday, 2 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. The sun will officially be reborn as we transition from the winter into the spring, wherein all of life is reborn. I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm pretty excited for this because I say this often. Though I do celebrate the Western New Year, January 1st, I do believe that the true New Year is March 20th. And March 20th is when the sun is reborn. You know, I've been walking around the neighborhood these past couple of days, and you're slowly seeing trees blossom with new life. And like I said, I'm looking forward to this rebirth. So it's not that celebrating the Western New Year is wrong. The thing is, when you set goals and attempt to accomplish anything major in the middle of winter, you literally don't have the support of the universe on your side. But come this Wednesday, it's at 2 in the morning, and shout out to all my Persians out there. You know, I'm Persian. Maybe you can call me the Persian Drake. Psych! Get the out of here, bro. I can see the resemblance. And for whoever said that, people have told me that before, but whatever. You know, he's not a bad looking guy, so I'll take that as a compliment. Winter New Year, Western New Year is for hibernation and recovery. And I would agree with that. It definitely is for hibernation. Because when you try to do anything major, set any major goals, or try to accomplish anything, shout out to Area Human. Logan, I'll get to your question in a second. You are literally fighting and swimming against the current. But come this spring, just whatever it is that you tried to do during the new year, Western New Year, January 1st, try again. See what happens. Then come back on this live and make sure you let me know what happened. Ancient cultures knew what they were doing when they were celebrating these cosmic phenomena. You know, this wasn't just some random thing. You know, we don't celebrate winter when the sun is in, 10 degrees of Capricorn. Shout out to Dean Davis. We celebrate it when the sun goes into 0 degrees Aries, right? This is just a cosmic rebirth of the sun. Logan asked, gender, you can call me Solar Daddy from now on. Shout out to Logan. Thanks for the question. Yeah, I'm loving this Venus and Mercury in Aries energy. It's been kind of interesting. I mean, it's really fiery. I am usually pretty I'm a peacekeeper. I'm a pacifist at heart. But with this Aries energy, like, I'm not taking no shit from anybody. Like, people come up and, like, any sort of, like, disrespect. I'm pretty sure it's like this for a lot of people. Any sort of disrespect or bad mouthing is just not tolerated. Because literally, Aries is the god of war, one. And Mercury, our mind, our words, our mental process, and Venus, our values, our sense of, or what we derive pleasure from, is in the sign of literal war and conflict. So it's been interesting these past, especially last night. Like, I had some like really funny things happen, but I like it. You know, I think I mentioned to you guys, those of you who joined live, I mentioned, I was like, listen, do not, just be very careful, because there will be miscommunications during this Mercury retrograde in Aries, and you will most likely use fighting words. Like, you will talk shit and not care, you know, and that's going to get you in trouble, okay? That's going to get you in trouble. The best way to navigate this is to allow the shit talking to happen. If it happens. I'm not saying it's going to happen to anybody out here. I hope it doesn't happen. But, like, allow it to happen, and then you're almost like making like a stealth. Like, you're dodging these bullets, like you're Neo in the Matrix. Because people who are unconscious of this energy and, you know, spit fire, not knowing that you are literally water, right? Bruce Lee said, be water. They're walking into a trap. You're going to make them look ridiculous because, one, their words are from anger, and so they don't know exactly what they're talking about. And two, when people speak out of turn, like passionately but not necessarily intelligently, again, it makes them look dumb. It makes them look stupid. With all due respect to those kinds of people. You know, I know you guys aren't that, you know, joining this live. I know you guys aren't that. But just understand that right now, people will and could speak out of line. And being the person that you are, you don't take none of that. You don't tolerate the disrespect, and you tell it how it is. But don't be the person who makes the mistake, right? It's almost like fighting, right? This is such a Mercury, Venus, and Aries retrograde topic, right? If somebody throws the first punch and the other person defends themselves, that person throwing the first punch, that's the guy who's going to get in trouble. Not the person who is defending themselves. So defend yourself if and when this opportunity arises. Because right now things are a little passionate, okay, with this Aries energy. And just wait till the sun goes into Aries, okay? This is like, you're going to freaking feel reborn, and you're going to be like, bring it on, world. And then what's interesting about this is, tying this back to astrology, we have the conjunction between the sun and Venus. And then we have the conjunction between the sun and Mercury, both planets retrograde. This is going to be a rebirth of that fire, that passion, that energy, all the way until those points. It's largely unconscious projections that you may have to face. People just talking shit, and you're like, all right, looks like this guy's about to throw a fist, this girl's about to throw a punch, and now I have to defend myself. And that's the ultimate position of power, because You don't want to be that person. Honestly, the people who like start shit for no reason, those are usually weak characters and individuals. The people who throw shade first are little babies trapped inside a grown-ass human figure silently crying because they didn't get the love and attention they needed, and they're definitely not giving themselves the love and attention that they should give themselves, that they need. Right? This is Aries energy in a nutshell. Aries is like, I want it, I got it. But you have to be careful with that, which is why Aries is the god of war, because Aries does not care who it runs over to get to that goal. And you have to be careful with that. You know what I mean? Cheers. You know, one of my good friends, he told me, always hold red wine by the stem, the glass of red wine by the stem. Why? Because if you hold it up here, then the wine gets warm. And that's not classy. It's not cool. Can you guys feel the Aries energy that I'm channeling? And just some of the things that I've, you know, this all comes from experience, right? It's been fun. And it's fun. It's even more fun being a Libra. People look at Libras as this sign and energy of pacifism. But little do they know, Aries and Libra are on the same axes, and Libra is actually a war-oriented sign. If Aries starts the war, guess who finishes it? Libra. Why? Justice. Right? Justice always has the final say. So, with this energy, all the way until Saturday and Monday, okay, be particularly careful of unconscious projections of this conflict-oriented energy, because Venus in retrograde in Aries and also Mercury retrograde in Aries are about to go through a rebirth process when they conjunct the sun. And this is going to happen, as I said, and these are particular dates, guys. Always keep in mind these dates that I tell you. Be particularly present when these events, when these dates come around, because this is where the magic happens. This is where those significant events could very well pop off. And we're largely unconscious of them, right? We're not aware. But these are the dates. March 22nd. Okay, it is a Saturday. The Sun and Venus are going to join together at 6:07 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you don't want to remember the time, just remember Saturday the 22nd. The next date is the 24th of March, Monday, which is when the Sun and Mercury join together in the sky. And it's interesting, anytime planets are retrograde and they conjunct the Sun, it is known as an inferior conjunction. Superior conjunctions happen when planets are direct and they go in and meet the Sun. Usually, Mercury does this a lot. It does it often throughout the year. So it's more of like a internal, interior type of cleansing and purification and rebirth process that comes about. Whereas when planets are direct and they conjunct the Sun, this is more outward oriented. Things happen outside of us, not necessarily deep within, not necessarily our beliefs, our values, things that are very internal that ultimately manifest externally. They don't. This is the inferior conjunctions are when those receive and go through a purification process. You know what I'm saying? And Wednesday, guys. Wednesday is a pretty big one. Wednesday, March 19th, the Sun and Neptune are going to join together in the sky. Whenever this conjunction happens, it's very spiritual. It's almost transcendent. Like, this is, anytime this conjunction has happened to me, and I've experienced it and I was aware of it, very, very spiritual things would happen. The first time I tried 5-MeO-DMT, that was during the Sun-Neptune conjunction. And if you're aware of what that is, then you know this is not like a light endeavor. This is a life-changing spiritual rebirth. A complete reset. But this is one of the final times that the Sun and Neptune are going to join together in the sign of Pisces. And Pisces is, again, not only does it rule endings, right? We're spring cleaning right now. When does spring cleaning usually happen? Right before spring, aka Pisces season, right? You're cleaning everything. Think about spring cleaning energy as Pisces. You're cleaning everything. You're getting rid of all the extra fluff, things that are hiding in the corners, in the crevices, things you don't use any longer. But then when you have 29 degrees, which is an extra potent concentration of that Pisces energy, of that spring cleaning endings energy, Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, and then the Sun, which is our present focus, our awareness, our present moment awareness, joining Neptune in the sky at 29 degrees of Pisces. Maybe this is like a spiritual cleansing. Maybe you are finally wrapping up some loose ends. Maybe you realize something deeply spiritual about yourself, about your life, about what you're here to do. It feels like a very purpose-oriented energy to me as well. And the purpose-oriented energy has to do with being aware of some sort of transcendent vision or ideal, right? Pisces, ideas, or dream, or fantasy. Because once Neptune moves into Aries, once the Sun moves into Aries, guess what, baby? It's all action, all gas, no freaking brakes, right? Pisces is like everywhere and nowhere at once, right? And I love Pisces energy because it's so unconditional, so loving, so giving, so self-sacrificing. But at the same time, it's like fog. It's like the mist, right? Whereas Aries is like the burning torch, the burning flame on the torch. Like, it's very visible, very hot, very, fire burns everything in its path. I gotta fix that. Dean Davis says, you timed it with the conjunction. You must have seen some things. I certainly did. This thing got stuck, bro. I 100% did. That was one of my most impactful, life-changing moments ever. And I had what was known as a hedonistic reset, okay, which is essentially when things that you once found pleasurable no longer have that same weight. And this is actually really interesting, speaking about this whole Pisces Sun conjunction. You know, it is a reset of some sorts, especially at the 29th degree. It's a reset. And after this reset occurs, you're going to see life very, very differently. But what's so interesting about this is that literally hours later, the sun is reborn into Aries. So you see some sort of grand vision, grand dream, grand ideal, grand fantasy, which is very Piscean in nature, self-sacrificing, giving, creative, transcendent. And then boom, we shift into Aries, which is the spring, reborn. Like this is the energy dreams are made out of. Okay. And it's certainly a reset. Whatever we receive during this conjunction could very well set the path for this entire new year forward from March 20th all the way until March 19th of 2026. God, this thing is annoying me. Anyways, this is going to be a jam-packed week. And it's going to be one for the books, that is for sure. But Sundays, you know, originally when I started this, One with the Sun series, Sundays was going to be like this week ahead type of energy. And so I'm actually really honoring that today. I had to get rid of that. The pool cleaner. So annoying. Sounds like a dying bird. It's Mercury retrograde too, so it's like technology may very well malfunction. Like freak accidents type of vibe, because it's in Aries. Aries is just like, it is a sign that rules accidents. Why? Again, Aries energy is very headstrong. It's this energy of act first, think later. Woo! So, what do you guys want to talk about? I think I've mentioned everything that is going to occur this week. And of course, we're going to talk about it more and more as the week progresses. But it's a pretty jam-packed week, right? Literally 10 hours after that Sun-Neptune conjunction, spring will be here. And then once we get to Friday, Venus sextile Pluto. I like that energy because right now Venus is retrograding, and that sextile presents an opportunity for us to further transform this review process that we are in when it comes to our values and our self-worth ultimately. And then Sunday, the Sun sextile Pluto. This is an opportunity for us to really make it happen, whatever it is. And, you know, why do I call this series One with the Sun? Right? Because, and why is it that everybody identifies with their sun sign? Because the sun rules our focus. The sun rules our attention, which is why it's ruled by Leo. And Leo is a very attention seeking / attention commanding sign, right? There's the dualistic manifestations of Leo because they do want to be praised and honored, but at the same time, you know, that's what naturally happens because they allow their inner child to come out to play. But this week, the sun is very, very active. Okay, the sun is active in the sky, making key contacts with power players in astrology. So this week is actually going to be a week of great change and transformation because the sun is so active astrologically. And, especially with that Neptune conjunction and then Venus conjunction and then Mercury conjunction, and it's going to sextile Pluto at the end of the week. And it's going into Aries. Come on, guys. We're going to go into such big shifts of identity. Our light that we are here to shine will make a fundamental shift and change into greater expressions. Dean Davis says, I haven't been into crypto for a few years, but I keep an eye on it. Do you see BTC going back down to 50,000 USD this year? I can't really depict, I can't really talk about like a specific bottom for Bitcoin. But what I would say, my prediction is the markets are basically going to be in a downturn and suffer all the way until we get to the summer. Middle of June, that Saturn-Jupiter square, that final Saturn-Jupiter square. And then from there on out, it is going to be a turnaround because shortly after, Jupiter and Neptune are going to square each other. This is the opening square of both of these planets. So I believe from the middle of June onwards, that's going to be more of an upturn in crypto. But I can't say for sure what the bottom is. You would have to look at some technical charts for that. And I haven't been doing that at all. I went to go see Looney Tunes today, The End of the World. It was like The End of the World by Looney Tunes. It was a good movie. Very good message. It was very funny as well. It was beautiful. Yeah. And it's interesting too, we had this eclipse, right? With this eclipse, let's see what happens during these next 2 weeks. 2 weeks, right? We've already passed the 2-week mark. And once we get to that new moon, partial eclipse, maybe that might be like the local market bottom. But we'll see. I haven't really looked into it that much, I'll be honest. Cheers. Anywho, I think in the matters of this week ahead, I have spoken. I hope you guys got something useful out of this live. Kept it casual, That thing in the background is annoying me. It's freaking Mercury retrograde. Technology may very well go bonkers and break down. If it does, get it fixed. Don't necessarily buy anything new technologically because probably you will have to rethink your purchasing decisions. That's my 2 cents. Anyways, guys, let me know what the sun revealed to you in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Have the bell notifications on, and so you can never miss a live, because I go live Sunday to Friday. Today is the first day of the week. All right, the strong start on Sunday. Oh, a real human. This is actually a good... See, you guys got to come up with these questions before I hop off. Don't be afraid to ask these questions, because this is what I'm here for. This is what lives do. We're here to interact with each other. And honestly, some of the best content comes from my live interactions with you guys. And this is a really good question. A real human. With regard to people coming from the past, A real human asked, with regard to people coming back from the past, should we encourage those? I would say yes. Okay, because they're coming back for a reason. And the usual reason, the astrological reason why retrogrades bring people back is because on a soul level, there is something that was unresolved. And so they return so that you can resolve it. Now, whether that thing has to do with any sort of commitment or not, I would advise to wait until after Mercury and Venus retrograde are over to make your decision, because this is the time wherein you're in review. You're not necessarily in a position of power to make empowered decisions, because you're in this introspective space where people are coming back and you're like, okay, you know, whether it's like a business partner, whether it was a romantic partner, whether it was just a friend or an acquaintance, I don't know, one of the above. But the only thing is the commitment. Wait until the planets go direct, until you fully commit to these individuals. Then, and only then, will you have all information necessary. Because if what you haven't resolved isn't clear to you yet, how can you make the right and just decision to move forward with this individual? That would be my Mercury retrograde tip for people coming back from the past. If there are no other questions, and hopefully that helped, a real human. Thanks for asking that. That was a really, really good question. That was a very good question. Yeah, usually when people from the past return, whether it's lovers or friends, I welcome it with open arms. If I want to, of course. We got Aries energy, so you might not want to. You might be like, nah, screw this person. I'm good. But if they do come back and you have space for it, then be curious. You know, approach it with an open mind. And then once we get to April 7th and April 12th, I believe, that's when these retrogrades end. Then you're able to make the best decision and move forward. Much love, guys. That is it for today. Unless there are no other questions, then I will see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in being one with the sun. I'm Kian the One, sending you guys infinite love, peace, and gratitude. And I will see you guys very soon. And let me give you guys a real human. Before I hop off, I'll give you the exact dates in case you don't make it to another live, because these are important. Mercury retrograde ends. I was right. Mercury retrograde ends March 7th at 4:08 a.m. And, I'm sorry, April 7th. Excuse me. I've been drinking a little wine. And April 2025, April 7th, 4:08 a.m., Mercury retrograde ends. And April 12th, 6:02 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for both of them, Venus retrograde ends. Awesome. All right, much love to you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. Peace.